Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be talking about how to manage time effectively, how to get the most out of your day, how to be very productive in a limited amount of time, and how to basically achieve all the things you want to without burning out, and importantly making sure you enjoy your life, because that's what it's about. Being successful is one thing, being able to achieve things is one thing, but doing it with a smile on your face and actually enjoying it is what really matters. If you're new to the channel, my name is Dr. Alex George. I'm an A&E doctor, I work in London. I also create content around health on different platforms, TikTok, podcast and YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, hit the button there and subscribe down below. Before I start this video, I actually want to show you my new plant, maybe slightly randomly, but this is an Arabica plant. So it's a coffee plant and it smells quite nice too. So it's the latest addition to my plant life here, which I'll move out of the shot so I don't know how it look. Before I do start this video, and very much in line with what we're going to be talking about today, I want to tell you about an app called Blinkist. Blinkist is sponsoring today's video. Blinkist gives you the best and key takeaways from over 3,000 non-fiction bestsellers from over 27 categories. Blinkist essentially condenses these books down into chunks that are much more digestible, that give you the key kind of top line things that you kind of need to know. Many of the books can be listened to in under 15 minutes. So I've actually been using Blinkist on the way home from work. I've just been listening to one of their popular bestsellers. I'm sure you've heard of this, Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, which is actually like mind-blowing. I'm also into my self-improvement books. I'd really recommend having listened to The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, asterisk. It's a great book and there's really good takeaways there too. So Blinkist gives you a condensed version of these books for reading or audio. They also have creatives, authors making original content. Right now, Blinkist are giving a special offer for you guys. If you click the link in the description below, you get a 7-day free trial and 25% off a Blinkist premium membership, as well as 65% off their audiobooks, which you can keep forever. So check them out, give it a click and give it a try. Right, let's get today's video started. I'm excited to share some of these things with you guys and hope that it will be very useful. So first of all, I think I should give a bit of a background and kind of justify why I'm making this video in a sense. Now, of course, everyone is really busy. We're all running around, juggling lots of things in our lives. Whether you've got a family and children, whether you've got, a really busy job or multiple jobs, you've got friends, you've got exercise to think about, you've got your own diet, your hobbies, travel, all these things you want to do. And more than ever, I think people really are focused on trying to get as much as they can in a day and to be successful in the things they want to be successful at. Essentially being as productive as possible. So as you guys know, I'm an A&E doctor. I work less than full time in the hospital, so 2 or 3 days a week. They're between 9 and 10 hour shifts, so I get plenty of time in the hospital. And I also am juggling my other media responsibilities. So I do TV, I do regular kind of appearances on Lorraine Show, do Sky News every week. I do ad hoc stuff. I also need to juggle paper interviews. So if there's a health thing that we need to talk about, if I'm doing a campaign, then I'll be speaking to newspapers and also doing radio too. And obviously if I've got anything like a show at the time, so for example filming MasterChef, I need to fit that in my time as well. So that adds on top of that. I also have my podcast, The Waiting Room. So even if you just take, for example, a podcast, you need to think about what the series looks like. I need to think about who would sponsor the series, because obviously you need to fund the series. It's not cheap to make a podcast necessarily. I need to talk to the producers and arrange with them times, dates, what it's going to look like, read over scripts, read over content ideas that we're going to create, think about the social media side. You want to get it out there so people can hear it and know about it. And also, of course, all things like artwork and bios that go with the episodes, as well as the launching the episode and recording it as well. So even in that snippet, as you can see, there's quite a lot to do, and that's just one little part of kind of my life. So I'm also doing YouTube, which actually takes quite a bit of time. So each video I'd say takes between 6 to 8 hours, maybe even longer for some videos, because you've got to record the video. You've got to think about the content of the video, you've got to record the video, edit the video, upload the video, thumbnails, all that stuff. And I do all that myself. So it does take quite a bit of time, but I do absolutely love doing YouTube, so it's time well spent. As well as these commitments, I also have to run my Instagram, which sometimes feels like a real full-time job. It kind of is in a way sometimes. Obviously, I'm very lucky to have a management team that helps with all this, but it still needs all of my kind of oversight and input. So there is quite a lot to juggle, but it can be done. I want to share with you guys some of these top tips and hopefully you'll find them useful. Right, let's start with tip number 1. Write a list. As much as I'm not naturally someone that likes planning. I was always quite unorganised at school. It's something that I've had to learn to do over time because it does matter. It makes a difference. It makes your life much more straightforward. So in the evening when I'm thinking about the next day, what I do is I go on my phone, I go onto notes, and I just write bullet point lists of what I need to do that next day. So it's clear in my head. I'm not worried, oh gosh, what have I got to get done? It's all clear there in my head what I'm doing the next day. I just break it down into what I'm doing in the morning through to the evening and what I need to kind of fit in that day and get done. I find it really, really helps relax me before bed as well because I'm not worrying about the next day. I know what I need to do, I know I can get it done, and it's written down. Then the next day, as you're ticking those things off, delete them. Delete them or tick them or put a strike through so that you can see that you've done it because it feels good. It's a good feeling to know that you're getting through those things. So that's the first tip I would say. Second tip, and a very basic one, when you wake up, don't snooze. So when you plan to get up the next day, say you're going to get up at 7:30, get up at 7:30. When the alarm goes off, be like, right, come on, we're starting the day, up and go. That feeling of like getting your energy up, right, let's get going, is a really good way to start the day. If you're snoozing, you're just lethargic, it's actually not great for rest. There's a lot of evidence it's not good actually if you're asleep and you actually feel more tired than you would if you just got up. So just get up. Number 3, have a routine, but also be flexible. It is really important to kind of set out what you're going to do. Know that maybe in the morning you wake up, you have your coffee, you do your morning workout, you have your shower, and you start your working day. But also be flexible that sometimes you need to move things around. You might have an important meeting in the morning, or you might need to go and see a family member in the morning. So be flexible at moving things around in that day. It allows you to become versatile. The more that you're able to do that, the better you'll become at it. And it does make a difference. Sometimes in life, you can't plan everything. It's not possible. I quite often have to move my days around. So I might have planned to, do a YouTube video on a Tuesday morning, but it turns out I now have to do a TV interview and 2 conference calls. And so then I need to move that around and juggle that around. It's really important not to let that stress you out. Just accept that sometimes in life you need to go with the flow and move things around. Next tip, compartmentalize your time. So try your best to create pockets of time. Know what you're doing in these spaces in the day, but use it very usefully as well. So for example, like I said, when I'm driving to work, I see that as an opportunity to get things done. So for example, I'll call my manager and speak with her, talk about what's going on, what I need to know, any updates for the day. I call family and friends in that time as well because that's really important. That's something I want to do and need to do in the day. And it's a really good time to get it done. And also, of course, if you want to learn things, do things like, for example, listen to a Blinkist audiobook or whatever, really good time to get that done. If you feel like you're learning, you feel like you're achieving something and you're using that time in a beneficial way. Of course, sometimes I just stick music on, stick the radio on and unwind, which is really important as well. Listen to music is really important. But the fact is you can plan that. You go, do you know what? On the way, I'm going to do some work, get things done. But on the way home from work, I'm sticking on an audiobook, I'm putting music on, and I'm chilling out. Next, and really importantly, understand the why in what you're doing. It's really hard to be really productive in your day and really focused if you're kind of losing the why. I always try and remind myself, or even have a list of things that I want to achieve and the reasons why I'm doing that, because it always keeps it up here, why you're doing that hard work. So for example, I was at medical school, I was, spending hours and hours in the library. I remember one night being there till like 11 o'clock at night and I was revising for an exam and I was thinking, oh gosh, I'm looking at this page and I was reading about like the human arm and I was like looking at it and I kind of lost the bigger picture of why I was doing it. And I remember in that moment going, no, I'm doing this because I've always wanted to be a doctor. I really can see that end goal. I'm going to be a doctor in a few years' time. And that is why I'm doing this. And all of a sudden you're remotivated and you're able to go. I'd also really say, if you're going to do something, do it properly. I always say that. Don't do things half-heartedly in life. I've always tried to live that way. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Like, I take a funny example. When I was in Love Island and I had to do that fireman challenge thing, I was absolutely dying. I did not want to do that. I was like, please let me not do it. I don't want to do it. But when it came to it, I had 2 options. Either you don't do it, you do it half-heartedly and you look really even more stupid, to be honest, or you go for it. And if you go for it, no one can ever question you for that. You've given your best, you've done it, and it's fine. Sometimes the things in life that you don't want to do, when you give them your best shot and you do them, you go afterwards, oh wow, that actually was that was actually really amazing. Like, for example, if you are scared of going on stage and doing public speaking, but you stand up there and you do your speech or whatever, or you read in front of the class, after you've done it, you go, that wasn't that bad, and now I'm like buzzing, I've got all this energy, like that was amazing. And that is an exact example of, if you're going to do it, just go for it. Now, this is a really important point, and something I genuinely do every day. Celebrate the small victories. Every day you achieve things, even little things, in your day, and you need to celebrate them. Take a moment and go, wow, I've done really well with that. Going back to your list, you're ticking off all these things. Maybe it's simple stuff like, I don't know, you need to, open a new current account with a bank or whatever, or you need to have organised your office space and put all your paperwork right. Maybe it was that you needed to, plan a dinner event with your friends. Whatever it is, whether it's work related or not, doesn't matter. Celebrate that victory and go, do you know what? I've done quite a lot today, and give yourself a pat on the back. We're so hard on ourselves all the time, and it's ridiculous. I've only actually started doing this in the last kind of 5 or 6 months, because before that I was kind of very hard on myself. I was like, come on, Alex, you could have done more today, you could have done more. And then I forgot, and I looked back and went, you've actually achieved a lot of stuff, but you've never stopped to say, let's celebrate that victory. That went well. That was good. Now, my penultimate tip is to make sure you plan downtime. It's so important to make sure in your day you've got time for your exercise, you've got time to call and speak to your family, friends, that you're able to sit and eat properly. All those things are so important for your productivity. You cannot be successful in what you're doing if you've not got your Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So I don't know if you've heard of this pyramid, Maslow's hierarchy of need. At the bottom, food, shelter, water, food, all that kind of stuff. And you can't reach that level of like absolute success or whatever they call it at the top without having those kind of base of the pyramid. So those things are absolutely vital, and I make sure, and I try and make sure certainly, that I achieve those things. Sometimes, again, being flexible, I have days that are really, really busy, that I start at like 7 in the morning and I finish at like 10 at night, and I haven't had a chance to exercise or have real downtime. And I don't like doing that, but sometimes you have to, and you realise, right, that on that day I've not been able to, but I'm going to make up for it. I'm going to slot in extra time over the next few days that I really have some downtime, because otherwise you can't keep up and sustain. Part of being productive and successful in what you're doing is having longevity in it, being able to do it for a long period of time. If you do something for a habit for 2 or 3 months and give it up, you're unlikely to have got to where you wanted to be. You have to do it for a long period of time. And to be able to do that, you have to do these things, these basic things, to look after your body and your mind. My final tip to be as productive as possible and get the most into your day is to believe that you can do and achieve much more than you think. When I started being a doctor, I thought, I'm so busy, I don't have time for anything else. There's no way I could add other things into my day. And of course, now I'm working less hours than I did, but I'm probably doing 3 or 4 times as much stuff. I think I fit a lot into my days. And I do that because I realised it can be done. There's so much time in your day that you might spend procrastinating on your phone for, people are on their phone for 2 or 3 hours. Those are 2 or 3 really productive hours. You could achieve so much stuff in that time. If you actually think about it, if I said you've got 2 or 3 hours, what can you do at that time? You could do most of your life admin in that slot. You could could write an essay in that time. You are capable of doing so much more than you realise, and you just got to push yourself sometimes. Of course, this is a balance, and of course, you need to look after yourself. It's not about overworking or burning out, but you can do it. If you really want to achieve something, you've got to put your mind to it and go for it. My mum always used to say to me, you can do anything you want in your life as long as you put your mind to it. And I think that's absolutely true. Guys, thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. I hope it's been useful and interesting. I hope some of these tips will be helpful too. Please do share some of your thoughts in the comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe as well. And of course, remember to check out Blinkist and click that link in the description below. Thanks everyone, take care and goodbye.